Today we want to talk about red flags on a first date.
So number one is mismatched core values.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes when we ask singles what they're looking for in a spouse
Mm-hmm.
or somebody that could be high potential, it's interesting what we hear and how much that tells us
Mm-hmm.
about who they're attracting.
That's right.
You want to go into heart values. And the ones that we recommend that you look for is kind, loyal, generous, and committed.
Mm-hmm.
Love is only love when it's associated with commitment. And so when those are mismatched,
Mm-hmm.
just recognize that you can never change the other person. What you
Yes.
can change is who you attract. And that starts with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You can change who you attract by starting with your own heart issues.
That's right.
Number two is feeling butterflies. Now, this one might come as a surprise,
Mm-hmm.
but I actually didn't feel butterflies with my wife, Irina,
Mm-hmm.
until I made the decision to propose and move into marriage.
Mm-hmm.
What are butterflies? They're actually a type of fear and anxiety that we misinterpret as
Mm-hmm.
excitement.
Mm-hmm.
So when I felt butterflies, it was literally a type of anxiety and fear of the unknown. That's
Mm-hmm.
this giddy adrenaline rush mixed with fear and excitement and anxiety. That's
Mm-hmm.
butterflies. And if you experience butterflies early on,
Yeah.
before you've really gotten to know the person, which generally takes about 90 days for somebody to show their real true colors at
Mm-hmm.
least,
Yeah.
and to demonstrate their consistency and their faithfulness and their commitment. So if you feel butterflies before you've really gotten to know the person, it's usually your heart telling you something's up. Hold the
Mm-hmm.
fort, put on the brakes, slow down,
It's
and it's usually
infatuation.
going to be infatuation, and you need to trust your intuition in those
Yeah.
cases.
Yeah. But if you look at it, a lot of times we make a decision because we have butterflies. We're like, this is it. Oh my gosh, I think I found the right person. Look at those butterflies. But you know what? If you base your relationship on that, it's not going to last because butterflies are not always going to be there.
Butterflies fly away.
They fly away. And the other thing is that the character is more important. The things that person portray themselves as is very important. So don't skip that one.
Number three is moving too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we move quickly, but we were also like ducks in the water. Look calm, fairly calm and inactive on the surface to the average person who
Yeah.
wasn't keeping track of what I'm doing in life. But underneath, I was paddling furiously, and we were being very, very super intentional with what we're communicating with and following
Mm-hmm.
directions, being mentored by experts. And so that's just my response to, some that might think that we move too quickly by only meeting once in person.
Yeah, I would actually clarify that. So we got to know each other for 4 months before we even met in person. So that is not moving quickly. That's that's a completely different thing. When we already met and we decided to get married, that's when it got to the faster track. But here is a first date. So I'll give you an example is when I was single, I remember I was on dating sites and I met this guy for our first date. And it was in a coffee shop. We had a good time, we laughed. And very quickly, he started saying, where have you been my whole life? I'm so glad that I finally met you. Oh my goodness, you're just exactly what I've been looking for. And I was like, oh wow, well, this is so flattering, like really like it. The next date, he says, let's go to church together. And oh my gosh, and I want to, you know what? I'm going to give you a key to my house now. I would love for you to make it home. You can furnish it. I just moved there. It's kind of empty. I'm a bachelor. I only have a mattress on the floor. Here's the key. I would love for you to. Here's my card too, credit card. Go and furnish it and be my queen. Let's get married. I'm gonna go shop for a ring for you. That's a second date, you guys. That is way too quick. You have not found out anything about this man. He's already pre-planned what he wants from you and didn't even find out what do you want out of life? What do you desire out of life? So I would say that is definitely run from that one and don't agree to go any further because it's going to suffocate you and they cannot keep up with that. It's going to be the beginning, then it's going to fizzle out.
Moving too quickly can also be a sign of being a person being emotionally unavailable.
That's right. Yeah.
Because when they come on that strong, that fast, hard and fast, no man can maintain that pace for an extended period of time. They're going to burn out, they're going to peter out, and triggers are going to come up, and life is going to set in, and all of a sudden they show their true colors. One way to prevent moving too quickly is to keep, for the ladies especially, keep the dates short. Don't go have 6-hour dates.
Yeah.
Like go more 90-minute dates and short conversations, and then space those communications out, not daily texting, because again, you want to pattern after what's sustainable in the long run, and also it keeps you in a state of being hungry and eager to meet each other, and you value your time more because you're not stuffing yourself with, well, let's just use food, for example. If you're constantly eating, you don't appreciate the food as much as if you do. You space your meals out and you're really hungry, and man, you really appreciate that food. Same concept here. Number 4, inconsistent behavior patterns. Consistency, faithfulness, and commitment is what you want to look for to see if it's true love.
Yes.
If you don't see that, run. Like I heard a professional dating coach once say, cut the bait and throw them back into the pond.
Yes.
I like that. It's like,
and it's here, what do you see in inconsistency? Like, for instance, in the beginning, that person is wanting to see you all the time and wanted to connect. And then next thing you know, they're not available. And it doesn't matter how many times you reach out.
That's usually because their feelings for you have changed. Again, it goes back to the previous one where their level of engagement on the front end is not sustainable. And when the evidence of that is them being inconsistent in their communication with you, not following through on what they said they would do, and always having an excuse and a reason for why this or that, instead of taking responsibility. Run. Last one, number 5, leads with negativity. For example, everything that they're not wanting in a relationship. Okay, how about flipping that script and instead of describing what you don't want, describe what you do want.
Yes.
Look for a person who describes their future, their vision of what they want to create, not what they want to get away from or what they don't want again. Now there is legitimate times to actually define where he came from, but if that's where it stays at without describing the future of where you're going to, and then actually be taking meaningful action towards that, that's a red flag right there, because the person is probably negative, bitter, and angry, and they're just recycling that old story and finding some level of comfort or feel good by sharing it and getting sympathy from you. One thing that is a first cousin to negativity is excuses, scapegoats, and always having a justification for everything that isn't ideal. That's a first cousin to negativity, and I would throw that into that mixture as well. Always take radical responsibility every time, as much as you possibly can. And even up to and including recognizing that to the degree to which we can take responsibility for things that are, we don't see as our fault, still adds an element of what can you, it's you recognizing and asking yourself a question, what can I do to change my perspective at the very least? Maybe you can't change the situation of the person, but can you change your perspective? And that's another way to flip the script. But that's a video for another time.
Yeah.
So,
And don't try to change the person or think that you can change them. Go with who they are. And if that's not the right person for you, move on and go to the next one.
go for somebody that's coachable, teachable, humble, and eager to learn and grow.
That's right.